Welcome to the Ask Amanda Show, where we solve everyday problems for the small business owner. Get nuggets of inspiration, access to experts, and answers to those burning questions preventing you from your growth. Here's your host, Amanda Benson-Tilch.
This episode of the Ask Amanda Show is brought to you by your hometown high fire area specialist since 2014, Damian White with Farmers Insurance. Damian White has been successful in helping SCB friends and family obtain insurance while others couldn't. With Farmers Insurance and their affiliate partners, Damian has quick turnaround times. They're fully staffed with 2 locations ready to serve you. You can reach Damian by calling 661-394-2802.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Ask Amanda Show. I'm very excited today to have my guest via video, which is our first time doing this here. Elias Scarr, welcome to the Ask Amanda Show.
Thanks. I am so happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time out today. I'm excited to talk to you and I'm excited to have you on the show. I mean, beyond the fact that I just like you and respect you and all the things that you do, you're so dynamic and so charismatic. But today we're going to talk a lot about sales and what's going on in today's, market and just a lot going on. And I'm excited to bring this to our listeners and our viewers today. So everyone, let me just start by giving you a little insight on who Elias is. He is Elias of Sell It Like Scarr, which I love this brand that you've developed. That's actually your website, sellitlikescarr.com. Elias's primary focus is to empower passionate people with the communication skills needed to earn the income and influence their hard work deserves. After more than 25 years of experience in sales and customer service, he has learned how to see your service through your customer's eyes, which allows him to bring a fresh perspective and actionable plan to the table. Through a mix of easy-to-use implement strategies, simple systems, and techniques backed by empathy and tough love, he will be your biggest supporter and most honest coach. So Elias is a business coach, and he has focused really on, the art of communication and how important face-to-face is, and just really teaching your team on how to be better in customer service and selling, whatever your product is or your service. And that's why I wanted to have him on. So as we get started, Elias, why don't you tell us about your entrepreneurial journey? Because I know you're sort of a newer-ish entrepreneur, correct?
I am. I started my business 2 years ago, and I'm 43, so I started my business at 41. And for me, the entrepreneur journey wasn't the typical, you hear about people that have been entrepreneurs since they were born, and they start one business and get started early, and they start businesses in high school and college and have multiple businesses, and that's just wasn't how it went. For me, I didn't figure out, wait a minute, this is something I could do, something I should do and wanted to do, until I actually had a coach point it out. And that was the real paradigm shift in that entrepreneurial journey for me. So I've been in sales for more than 25 years. My first job was 15 years old, and I worked for the Trader Joe's right there in Santa Clarita,
nice.
Back when it was on Cinema Drive, and helped open that store.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great job, great company. And my first boss, Scott Pasco, was really that first instrumental person in talking to me about how this is how we take care of customers. And that was really the first lessons I learned at 15 was, here's how you take care of people. Here's how you help people. So that imprint over working for years at Trader Joe's, and then moving on, and I moved on to working in restaurants because I wanted to try that out and see what that was like. And then I became a bartender, and then learned how to sell and play and have fun with people, which
Mm-hmm.
is really kind of my angle for selling, is to really, encourage the fun and joy of spending time with people and building relationships.
Right.
And then from there, I got picked up by a Taekwondo school. And then I managed a couple of Taekwondo schools out in Santa Clarita for a little while, actually for quite a few years. And then I got picked up by Results Fitness, another
Right.
small business in Santa Clarita.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all throughout the journey coming up to there, I learned about sales, learned about selling, and learned more about communication. You can learn a lot about communicating being a bartender. You can learn about
Right.
a lot about communicating, working in service and with people. You can learn a lot about communicating and studying martial arts and in sparring and fighting. There's a lot of communication lessons there. And then when I got to Results Fitness, that's where things sort of took off like a rocket for me. That's where Alan and Rachel Cosgrove, who are the current owners of Results Fitness, took me in under their wing and really just put a tremendous amount of focus into continuing education for me, and sent me from one training course to the next, and books and tapes and videos, and really accelerated that learning process. And then in managing Results Fitness for quite a few years, 10 years, I worked with Results. Wow. and their consulting team, Results University, their business coaching team. And then as we were gotten through the hardest part of COVID, as we got to the end, both of them pulled me inside and said, it's time to go. It's time for you to go open and do your own thing. We're going to back you up. We're going to support you. We're going to show you every step of the way. But it's like, as much as you can grow here, it's like, it's time to start your own thing. And so having a coach, it's just like having a business coach, right? Like, if you want to fast track success, you got to have a coach for anything at all. The best people that are the very top of their game in any sport or anything have coaches, and usually have multiple coaches. So me truly understanding the value of having my coaches, Alan and Rachel, and working with other coaches like you, for example, that was where I really understood. That's where my passion is. I love coaching and I love teaching, and I like being super specific, because unlike most people, I love selling. I love sales, and I love communication and all the challenges that come with that, and customer service and customer experience. And so it sort of just took off like a runaway train. I had great support, great people in my corner, great coaches in my corner. And now I'm working with colleagues just like you to help people make business a little bit easier than it can be.
Yeah. And so do you like the freedom and everything that, being an entrepreneur provides? I mean, that's kind of like the number one thing people say, but like also when you're doing something that you love, which you certainly sound like you're in your lane, man, like just really loving and owning it, I'm sure there comes so much more joy in it.
The freedom is definitely, I would say, the biggest benefit. Yeah. And it's, I look at freedom in multiple ways. Like one of the greatest lessons I ever learned was from at Saugus High School, right there in Santa Clarita.
Fellow
my
Centurion.
Chemistry teacher, my 11th grade chemistry teacher, wrote in my yearbook, discipline is freedom. And thinking of it in that way of having my own business, being able to work from home and coach from home, I can travel, we can go places, I can do, I can work with people that are all the way on the other side of the country. I can work with people across the world. I've got clients in the UK. That whole idea of the freedom of being able to do what you want, I think, allows you to focus on what's truly important. Because sometimes you don't have the freedom to do that. You don't have the freedom to focus on what's important, because you have to focus on like what has to be done and the must be dones and all that kind of like what everybody else wants you to do, as opposed to being able to singularly focus on the thing that you're good at, the thing that you love to do, the thing that people need, and the thing that you get paid for.
Right. Which all comes down to that. Yeah. I love that. We have a very similar story. I started in sales as well. I've been in a selling position. I started at Miller's Outpost on the Levi wall, which they, similar to Trader Joe's, which is just fast tracked, but you and I are about 10 years, not quite apart, but they had a very customer service centric, method of selling. And so like, that's where I learned I'm a people person. I could sell you any kind of jean. I'll find the jean for you. I'll sell you a jean you didn't even know you wanted. Right. And then I went into waitressing and bartending as well. So it just being a people person, I think, is one of those things that you and I have in common, but also is what makes you a good communicator and good at sales, but then knowing how to leverage it and knowing what was some things that we're going to talk about right now. One of the things I wanted to kind of like lead us down that road is people do tend to have a fear of, their strength is like, oh, I'm a great marketer, or I want to talk to you about operations, but like really knowing how to sell, and like, no, I don't classify me as a salesperson. What is that hang up that you come across anyway, that people have, what their fear around it?
I think there's two major challenges that come with the fear of sales. The first one is the belief that either you have it or you don't have it. Like either you are personable and you're charismatic and you're fun and you're extroverted and all that kind of stuff that makes sales a little bit easier to do, that you have that or you don't have it. And I think once we can flip that switch of saying that sales and communication is a skill, and anything that's a skill can be learned, practiced, improved, studied, and put into place. And the minute you start to look at it as a skill, well, then you just start putting points into that skill. Like if you want to become a better cook, you study and you try more things and you cook more often. If you want to get better at a certain lift or working out, I know I just saw your great post on working out and training. if you want to get good at a specific lifting technique, well, you practice that technique and you go up and weight and you increase the challenge. It's just like anything else. The time put into that skill it's not as difficult as it sounds or as it seems. And a lot of what you feel like people are just good at the cuff, or they're good at communicating with people, or good just talking back and forth and easy to have a conversation with. It's skill like anything else. But I'm also a big proponent of the second big hang up I see is that people tend to feel like, I'm not good at this thing, so I got to put a lot of effort into getting good at that thing. And then I'm not good at that thing, so I got to put a lot of effort into getting good at that thing. And I have to balance out all my skills, as opposed to doubling down what you're really good at. And I find that the biggest trend right now in sales is authenticity. Like if you notice on social media, you see a lot less, super filtered pictures are a lot less popular, and super filtered this and super filtered that is a lot less popular. Something that's more organic, or people that shoot videos of, there isn't a lot of makeup and there's a lot of showmanship. It's just an organic me to you. We're just talking to one person. Authenticity is the biggest superpower right now. So what that means in relationship to somebody who might have a fear of sales is to double down on what you're really good at. If you are great at being diligent with follow-up and having all your stuff together and being organized and having the numbers and the data, then sell that way. If you're good at building relationships and sitting down and having conversation, then you can sell that way too. So there isn't just one way to do it. Find out what you're really good at, find a good coach, and then double down on that skill.
Yeah. I think another part of it too is confidence. A lot of people don't have confidence. And what I was just talking about to somebody else is like, it's really hard to sell something that you yourself wouldn't buy. And so, having confidence around what you're selling, and not just personally, I think it doesn't matter how you look and feel, being in front of people or an audience or on social, but if you truly believe in the product or the service that you're selling, it's going to come across no matter what. So I think kind of, like what you said, now that you have a niche that you're selling to directly, like you've narrowed it down, the product that you serve, for the people that you serve with the product that you sell, I think that's key too, just having that confidence and belief in what you're selling.
That's an integral part of sales. I mean, if you think about like high level persuasion and selling techniques and marketing techniques and communication techniques, you can use those powers for evil. Like there's some powerful techniques out there that if you don't believe in something, you can trick or you can manipulate somebody. But for me, the biggest difference between like manipulation and persuasion is intent. And intent is where the confidence comes from. If my intent is to help you, like I know I have the solution. If you had the solution for cancer, would you not be the most confident person on the planet shouting it from the rooftops because you had the cure? Well, that belief, and I couldn't agree with you more, that belief and that confidence in what you're selling is integral. And if you are the product, that belief is going to come from you. It has to come from inside. Now, as far as how do we generate that confidence and generate that belief? It's just like anything else, just getting the reps in, putting the reps in, putting the time in.
Practice.
And the more, like you said, practice. And the more you have an understanding of how your prospect wins, what do they truly, truly get out of it? Like if you take fitness, for example, nobody goes to the gym to burn fat and build muscle. They want what burning fat and building muscle does for their lifestyle.
Right.
So what does that lifestyle change? It's way easier to become more confident in, I can help change your lifestyle, which is a more powerful want, than I can help you lose a couple pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. I think that's so key. I love where our conversation is going. It's just what I hoped it would be. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about today's consumer trends. There's some things that I was like looking up because I think, here we are in April of 2023, and a lot has changed with how we, I guess, connect with, our audience of who we're trying to sell to. And some of the things that I was looking at, I wanted to just kind of throw your way, was data, and how consumers want control of their data now more than ever. So they're not as inclined to like sign up for things and give out their personal information. Are you seeing that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that the people want to believe that their data is safe, right? And so there's some baselines of not just that my data, we're not talking just about bank data and credit card data. Like it's always something that people worry about and people want to be safe, but am I safe to share it with you? And that's really the end of the end game of the consumer trend. Well, people want their data to be safe, You can do everything in the world to say, hey, your data is safe, it's locked in this, it's locked in that. But it really comes down again to that one-on-one relationship of if my data is safe with you, then I am safe with you. Am I safe with you? Can I trust you with my business? Can I trust you with my accounting? Can I trust you with my friends and family? Can I trust you with my lifestyle? Can I trust you with my food? It's really, this is nothing new. This is the same baseline as sales as a whole. The first question we have to be able to answer is, you can trust me, or can I trust you? That's the number one thing. And that goes all the way with data and with privacy. I think we're on the cusp of either going really, really hard in with privacy, but I don't know if we'll be able to maintain that. I don't know. I mean, with the amount of AI and tracking software and facial recognition and all that kind of stuff, it's really going to come down more to, do I trust the person?
Yeah, that you're giving your information to. Yeah, I agree with that. And the whole know, like, and trust theory has been around for years, and I don't think it's going anywhere. It's just shifting the way that we look at it. Convenience shopping is another one that I came across that I thought, man, this is so true. You know, especially coming out of COVID, everybody wants everything delivered, and like using Alexa and, you know, Google and, you know, right, Amazon Echo and all these things. I feel like, have you hit any roadblocks with, you know, people that you're working with, and that's an issue for them?
You know, I think that is an outstanding point. And a great example would be, there is a dog grooming company in my area that only takes cash. And my wonder is constantly whether they're struggling for business or whether they're trying to get people to come in. We're not even making it easy for them to pay, let alone they have to get their dog, put their dog in the car, have to bring the dog all the way over, have the dog, wait for the dog, find something to do. Like, it's already not a convenient thing to go do, to have your either dog groomed or nails done or whatever the case may be. But when you just make it difficult for somebody to pay, like a company that, let's say, doesn't take American Express because they don't want to pay the 2% fee of whatever American Express is, and haven't had the presence of mind to go, wow, I should probably work all of my fees into the cost of my services. Like, it's that kind of thing. Like, if you're, as much as people want Alexa and Amazon and all that, Alexa just popped up on my desk because I said her name, and Amazon and all that to bring stuff to their doorstep, most businesses are still struggling with, we only take cash. Yeah.
That leads me into my next thing, is like digital wallets are a huge thing, especially with the younger generation of consumers. They don't even carry cash, and everything is on their phone. And they just, like, if you don't accept Apple Pay or some form of digital wallet, you know, then more than likely that consumer is not going to shop there. So that kind of goes in line with that too. And it also ties in with another thing that I will talk about in a second, but with creating friction, you know, like to me, only accepting cash is just a way to create more friction. And there's a restaurant down the street from where I frequent a lot that only accepts credit card. They don't accept cash. No cash. Yeah.
Interesting. Right.
Yeah. Cause they don't want to count. They don't want to be liable. They're having the what is that called? The banker's truck come and pick up the cash drops, all that extra fees, and then human error with counting cash and they employ a lot of young people. And my daughter just got a job as a cashier at a coffee place, and she had to learn, we had to sit her down and teach her how to count cash back. They don't learn that in school, you know? And
so anyways, it seems so funny. Like, it seems so funny. And just like, what do you mean you don't know how to count cash back? What do you mean you don't know how to use an analog clock? Like, this is all the stuff we grew up with, right? The technology. We are in this odd generation where we are living through the fastest acceleration of technology possible, where we have one end of the spectrum who like, when I worked at Trader Joe's, we typed things in by hand. There was no scanners. And now you can go to an Amazon grocery store and there's no cashier. You just put it in the basket and you walk out the door. Crazy. So when you talk about creating friction, that is so this is one of the biggest things I look at when I'm coaching in sales is before we get into any kind of high level sales skills or tactics, is where's the friction? What is making it difficult for your customer to find your product, buy your product, or understand what your product is supposed to be? Those are big things. If businesses took the effort to just take a second and go into my business and look for all the points of friction and remove those points of friction, their sales would explode.
Right.
Simply doing that. That's how powerful that is.
Right. Actually, that's why people like you and I are really important because, as I read in your bio, being able to be like, a neutral third party looking at somebody's business to say, hey, here's where I found hiccups, like assessing somebody's website, doing a sales training call with them and saying, ooh, maybe we should remove this phrase. And I think that part is really important. I recently worked with a local business here and I evaluated their website and instantly there was so much information on the product that they sell. I was overwhelmed. Like what am I buying actually? So I recommended them to like kind of dumb it down, shrink it down and just give me key points. Yeah. I mean, that's one way of having some friction, not either not accepting cash or not accepting credit cards is another way, but I know that we could talk a lot about that.
I do want to like stop a second
Sure.
on that point of what you said, dumbing it down. Like I always ask people, explain to me what you do like I'm 5.
Right.
If you explain it to me like I'm 5, then I can know whether or not I want that thing.
Right.
Like more isn't better.
Right.
It's like anything else. More isn't almost very rarely is more better. Better is better. We have to define what that is.
Yeah. One thing that I say a lot too, my dad's 78. Can my dad figure this out? Will my dad be able to buy this
That's a great
product?
question. I like that.
That's how I look at things. Like, my dad, and he's smart, but my dad wouldn't be able to do this. So how can we fix it? Right. And not that maybe I get it, a 5-year-old or a 78-year-old is not your demographic. So you're going to think this conversation's like dumb, but no, like really you have to like, what's the phrase? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Just yeah. You don't want to have to give your salespeople a whole list to memorize of things to say because that's your program. You want to shrink it down and just give them bullet points and let the product sell itself. Basically, is kind of the point.
That's another great point. People look at improving sales as a better closing. Like I close more people or I get more leads. Like that's how I improve my sales. What we stop doing and that we should be doing is you can improve your sales through efficiency. Can I take an hour sales process and make it 15 minutes?
Yes.
Make it easier for the prospect and end up seeing more people or being able to reinvest that time somewhere else. So keeping it simple and having really good efficiency when it comes to sales and upgrades and referrals and all that kind of buzz. If you make it easy for people, people will do it.
Yes. That's a tip. Rewind, people. That's a good tip. So let's jump over to a couple of strategies that I think could help people because everybody's looking for newer, better ways. Like what's the hot thing right now? And honestly, I think these are just golden. These are the simple things that I think that people should always be utilizing. They'll never go away, which is just referrals. Let's talk about referrals. And then like maybe add-ons or upgrades, to the product. So I recently shared a post about an app that I started using for a gym that I run called Bird Eye. And Bird Eye has been incremental of us improving our Google ratings and our Google reviews, I should say. It's a texting app. It does a lot of things. I use it for the texting version so people can text us to sign up for a class or text us if we're out of paper towels in the bathroom or whatever. Just make it easy, right? And then also it's given us a direct access for them to leave a review. And that review is whatever I set it up for. So my focus is on Google and then obviously on Facebook. I don't really care about Yelp. I'm saying it. I don't care. But those are my 2 main focuses, right? Also because I'm working on SEO on my website that's taken me back to Google. Like I have a whole strategy around that. But utilizing these referral programs, also they can refer a friend and then also collect reviews. These things I believe are crucial to any business, especially a small business, because one of the other consumer trends that I came across was how important reviews are for business and how people are actually really relying on reviews before they will actually, come into your restaurant or buy your product or, join your service. What are your thoughts about reviews and referrals?
I think they are essential. Like I agree with you, and I know from my own personal anecdote when I moved out to North Carolina 2 years ago, I've probably put I'm going to say anywhere between 20 and 50,000 miles of driving in the last 2 years.
Mm.
Probably 50,000, closer on that end, because just exploring and exploring the state and the state above and the state below.
I remember
and
you were doing
the area.
You were doing a road trip. I remember I was following you on
right.
social. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
fun.
that's right. Because I did traveled for a month all over the United States.
Right.
On the way out here. And the without fail, when I was deciding where to eat or where to go, where to stay, I was looking at reviews. I was looking at the top reviewed places to eat, the top reviewed places to stop and get a cup of coffee, the top reviewed places to stop and get a snack. And I think I did a deep dive thought on this, on why are we so review dependent? And there's really two things we look for in reviews, right? We look for how many stars, because that's kind of the thing we've all agreed on, right? We're going to use stars, 5 stars, whether it's Google or Facebook, whatever. And then how many reviews are there? Because if you see something that is 5 stars with 2 reviews, but you see something that's 4 stars with 10,000 reviews, you're like, all right, 10,000 people, I'm going to go to that place. So those are the two, like, just the amount of reviews matters. And when I thought about, well, why does the amount or the number of people matter? And I think it's because it has become, and this is affecting sales and marketing in general, it has become so difficult to find trusted sources of information. Whether it's media, whether it's, the world being divided into 2 sides. You got the red side, the blue side, the red party, the blue party, and all of our side believe in these things, all of our side believe in those things, and anything from that side I might not trust, and anything from this side I might not trust, or I might be in the middle and I don't trust anybody. But if I see 10,000 people, I might trust that there's a good taco over there.
Right.
Like, that's the kind of thought process that people go through. So I don't think reviews are something you can ignore. And I think a lot of businesses ignore reviews specifically because they think, I've got word of mouth and I've got good enough business. And a lot of businesses thought that before COVID, and a lot of those businesses are closed.
Right.
And so my biggest thought with reviews and referrals is really sort of the same process. You got to ask.
Right.
Just ask. I mean, the data shows that 92% of happy customers are willing to give a review and a referral.
Right.
8% of the sales force asks for them. Right. It's like, it's a mind-blowing number. So it is one of those things where, like, again, it's another one of my favorite sales lessons. Your sales will get better if you just ask.
Yeah.
You'll get more referrals if you ask for them. You'll get more reviews if you ask for them. Now, if you make it easy, like you said, with Bird Eye, and you have an app and you've got direct link, and you make it easy for your customer to execute what you want them to execute, then the likelihood of them following through is so much greater.
Right. Or put a QR code up in your,
absolutely.
Yeah, in your business that links to Google reviews or something like that. I brought these 2 topics up, referrals and reviews, because I believe in order to, it's great to just ask, like you said, but to achieve a positive review, a 5-star review, and to achieve the fact that somebody likes you so much they're going to refer somebody else to your business, it really comes down to customer service. I mean, to me, that's one of the things I wanted to really allow you just to kind of like talk about how important customer service is. I will tell you from this gym, my number 1 priority when I'm training and onboarding the team is to greet and everybody coming and going. So welcome in. Hey, great to see you. Oh, you're back. Have a great day. You look like you put in a lot of work, all the sweat. It is the number 1 thing that
absolutely.
I mean, that's it. The number 2 thing is our cleanliness, and I can go on. I have a list, but the number 1 thing is that. And in today's self-checkout world, especially like you mentioned earlier, they don't even have cashiers anymore at grocery stores. There's a big aspect of gyms where it's a self-checkout. They walk in with a scanner and some of them go through a turnstile. There's sometimes not anybody there. So to me, that's a really unique level of customer service in today's day and age, is just that face-to-face contact, developing those relationships. But that's just one aspect. I'm sure you have a lot to say about customer service, so I'm going to let you.
I think the front door is one of the most underrated points of service in any business. The front door is ignored, and people tend to forget that enthusiasm exists on a timer, right? The minute somebody comes into your business, enthusiasm is high because they're excited about either what they're going to do or what they're going to see or what they might find or what they're going to buy. That's the peak of enthusiasm. And then it starts to wane. And we have to constantly refill that meter. Part of refilling that meter is acknowledging that somebody exists.
Right.
That's, oh, I see you. You're here. You exist. And I'm excited you're here. That goes a long way in the customer experience. And that's really what finding what somebody's client experience or customer experience is like in their places, at what points can I refill that enthusiasm? If somebody's been coming to your business for 3 years and they're a regular, and they, you think, oh, they know what they're doing, and I just kind of let them do their thing and I don't bother them. What we're doing is we're just that timer's still going. That enthusiasm meter is still dropping and still dropping. And then all of a sudden, a year later, when they decide to quit or leave the business, they wonder, well, what happened? I thought you were happy. You knew all this thing. You did all the things. You did all the stuff. And it really comes down to, I wasn't paying attention to your enthusiasm meter. And that's really what, for me, the client experience is about. Now, it's not like, singing a song and singing, a crazy magical song every time somebody walks in the door. It's not really what it's about, but it's about that personal acknowledgement of you exist. Nobody gets in without a hello, and nobody escapes without a goodbye.
Yeah.
Because them walking in the door is going to set the tone for everything that happens in your business.
Right.
And then as they're leaving, you have the opportunity to set the tone for the rest of their day. And if they're thinking about you while they're gone, that's really the ultimate power of a customer experience. If you want referrals, your people must think about you when they're not in your business. And a lot of that's going to have to do with the experience that you provide and that last second as they walk out the door. If you want people to talk about you, leave referrals or leave reviews or communicate in any way that's not while they're right there in your business, they have to have a reason to think about you.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. I think that's really key. I remember there's a Baskin Robbins out here. And when we were younger, every time we would leave there, the gentleman would go, "See you tomorrow." And I was like, what? I just thought that was so, genuine and unique.
Love it.
Yeah, it was so cute. And then I was like, "Hey, Dad, can we come back? Are we coming back tomorrow?" Like, cause he said, it was like one of the things that stuck with me.
I love it. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be the one magical word or saying it exactly right. It just has to be, specific, be specific, unique. Be organic, be a human. Like, just treat somebody like how you want to be treated in a relationship.
That's
right.
We
tend to not look at sales as relationships. That's really what they are.
And that is what they are. This is a great segue to my next topic I wanted to bring up with you is the lost art of communication. So, in today's digital world and technology world, there's so much going on that people, I just watched this video this morning called, it's on YouTube. You guys should look it up. This guy, what's his name? Gary Turk. It's called Look Up. And he did a poem about people in their phones. And it's just a 4-minute video. It's just so fantastic. But it really spoke to me because we are lost in our phones. And, I'm raising kids who are like 19 and 22 now. And that's how they grew up, in a way. And it just really spoke to me. But today's world, part of customer service and getting positive reviews and getting that referral is really the FaceTime, building these relationships, getting them to return, talk about client retention, right? When there's so much technology in our way, how do we overcome that? One of the things I saw recently too is that there's an app that instead of just a QR code or a asking for the review in an email or something, there's now a video that you can actually record your message to your client. So they're seeing your expression and they're seeing, how passionate you are. And then you're asking for the referral or the review. And I think that's awesome. But that's one of the things I feel like technology is hurting us in our communications. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's another good point. When I think about technology or things that we implement or introduce, there are some things that when technology arrives, we leave something behind and we move forward into that thing. Like we stop doing the credit card sliders, right?
Right.
Those things that
nobody's even know what those are.
Yeah. And anybody under 20 years old listening to the podcast, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the credit card sliders, like we left that behind in favor of like Square and now Tap to Pay or Apple Pay, right? We're doing this instead. We left that behind. Other things, however, it's really in 3 categories. Am I leaving the old technique behind and adopting something new? The second category is, am I taking on the new technique, but keeping the old technique? Like you still, the getting a phone call or talking to somebody or work or meeting face-to-face, we still have to keep doing that. But we also have to text people and send videos and respond to their messages on DMs. So now it's this and. It's a new job. That's why social media manager is a new job, or even communications officers is a new job title, because it's this and in order to compete, we have to do both those things. And then the ultimate goal is the blend, right? I like sending a video message. If somebody reaches out and you get a lead online, imagine reaching out to that person and saying, hey, Amanda, this is Elias here with Sell It Like Scarr. I'm so excited for our meeting on Thursday. I can't wait to see you. 1 o'clock. And if you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out and send me a text. Oh, and by the way, I linked an article that I thought you might like about business coaches. It's in the text message below. See you on Thursday, right? So
gold.
the idea
That's gold.
of me saying hi, me saying hello, seeing my face, me saying your name, you hearing me say your name and my name, it does a lot of things. It will more than likely that you will show up to that appointment, that you'll take it seriously. It has some specific reach out, but we can't refuse to communicate in the way that people want to communicate. And so people want to communicate via text. So we got to get good at it. Sometimes they want to communicate via video. We got to get good at it. Other people want to communicate face-to-face on the phone. We got to be good at that too. So at this point, it's like we're sales superheroes. Some tools we're leaving behind, but really now we're just adding tools to our belt. But the good thing is that they really overlap. If you're good at one or two of these, you're probably good at the others as well. You just have to make sure they get implemented.
Yeah, I think that's really key. I appreciate you saying that, because that is the truth. There's a lot of businesses that operate out of fear, and part of that fear is of technology and adding that to their business. But what you said is key. Like, there can be a blend, and even better, there should be a blend. There should be a blend. Yeah, I think that's great. I love I love our conversation. It's so helpful. Is there anything that you haven't shared with my audience yet that you would like to talk about or bring up? I want to give you that opportunity to share something.
If I was going to share one message with people, is to understand that if most people actually already know how to sell. Like you have the skill set. If you've ever convinced somebody to give you the last slice of pizza, if you've ever asked somebody to go on a date, if you've ever managed to convince somebody, hey, we should stay and have dessert, or ever convinced somebody to look after your animals or house sit for you, you're selling. If you're talking, you're selling. That's literally all it is. It's just relationship building skills and bringing that skill set to the forefront, really bringing it to the forefront. And what I would recommend for people, and this goes for your clients, specifically your audience, is what's the best way to say this? Okay, so I'm going to talk to your audience directly.
Sure.
You won't be able to keep up with Amanda's R&D. You won't. Her study on business, her study on communication, her study on sales, her study on growth and social media and tech. You won't be able to keep up with her on that. But that's a good thing, because you don't have to keep up on how is the best way to do things and implement things and get this set up and get that squared away. Instead of investing all that time in, you invest in a coach. You invest in Amanda. You invest in coaches. That's really the big secret behind getting anywhere fast, is you got to find a coach. And business and sales and customer experience are no different. It is a skill set that if you hire a coach that's doing all the studying that you can't possibly do because you're too busy trying to sell cars or sell gym memberships or sell tacos, you don't have time to study all this stuff. So if you want the cheat code, you got to get a coach.
It's so cute. The cheat code. That's like that could be a brand.
The cheat code. Now I have to be honest, that's a gift from Alan Cosgrove. He calls coaching the cheat code. And I've adopted that from him, but it truly is. Coaching is a cheat code. And the return on investment for coaching is probably one of the greatest ROIs. If you had any idea how much time and money it will save, I've got a business up and running in extremely short time because I had great coaches. Great coaches.
Yeah, I think that's so crucial. Thank you for saying that. I believe that to be true. And I think that's why you and I are in business, to serve others and to help them. And I think that I'm thankful for people like you that help support, the mission of what we're trying to do, which is really help small businesses or just business owners get, improve what they're doing. And I think our country more than anything really needs small business owners. And, we're fans. So what else can we do to help you? Why don't you share with everybody where they can find you and connect with you, and how to best, follow along with you?
What I would recommend is check out my website, sellitlikescarr.com. Look me up on Instagram and Facebook. I constantly post content up there. I'm the only Elias Scarr on Instagram and Facebook, so I'm really easy to find. And follow me there. And one of the big things that I want to reach out and let everybody know is that I answer every DM. If you DM me with a question, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to offer some help, and I'm going to give up front, because there's so much that we can do and grow. I really, for me, I'm an abundance mindset kind of person. And so if your first step is reaching out and sending a DM to me or sending a DM to Amanda to ask for help, do it. Don't be afraid. We got you. That's what we're here for. That's it. It's totally selfish because we love it. It's the best job in the world. We have fun doing it. Amanda, I'm sure you'll agree, there's nothing better than getting a text from a client where they're like, I closed $10,000 today. And you're jumping up in your living room in your kitchen all excited because they sent you a text. Like,
yes,
it's the best feeling in the world. It's totally selfish. I will be completely honest about that. But the reality is, if you're nervous or anxious, reach out and ask for help. And there are so many resources that we as coaches can set you up with. You just gotta ask. And you just gotta ask.
Yes. And I always say, if I can't help you, then I'll connect you to somebody who can. So,
Same.
I don't know all the things, but I will do my best to get it to you and get it in front of you. So Elias, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for connecting with me, via video. This is definitely a different experience for me anyway, maybe not for you, but for me.
Hey, we did it.
And we did it. And I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that you took the time out today to share, to our audience. And I just really, I know we'll be in touch. And if anybody, does want to connect with Elias, I had goosebumps talking to him a couple of times today. Like, he's so motivating, and that's how he makes you feel in real life as well. So don't be shy. Definitely reach out to him. Elias, have a great rest of the weekend, I believe. And everybody, thank you for watching and listening to the Ask Amanda Show. We'll see you next time.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do you have a topic you'd love to hear about? Or is there something you want to ask Amanda? Make sure to comment below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when we post new episodes.